Hello and welcome to a new video. And this week it's a Scrawlrbox from September 2022. Curiouser and Curiouser, this month's box is inspired by our feature artist's Balkan-inspired illustrations. From folklore tales to unique customs, we encourage you to take a deep dive into exploring the celebrated, bizarre and sometimes dark traditions of your heritage. Play around with composition, patterns and mix up your mark making to tell your tales in your creations. And so the Scroll challenge of this 85th box is Fascinating Folklore. The feature artist is Tia T. Jurisic. I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's an illustrator, muralist and founder of Kvar Illustration Studio. She got her MA in graphics from the Academy of Fine Arts in Zagreb, Croatia, and since then she worked with clients from all around the world on different creative projects. She loves to work with watercolor on paper and with various drawing techniques such as ink, pencil and markers, and she uses digital techniques as well. She created murals in many European countries such as Norway, Italy, Greece, Slovenia, Croatia, but also the murals which are visible only to the certain people. I don't know what that means. One of her favorite ongoing projects is to paint inside of prisons. She has already created illustration on the wall in 3 prisons, and there will be many more. The idea is to revitalize the space and to observe how the people react to the illustration and color inside the prison. She's a free soul and sometimes she lives and works as a digital nomad in a small Mercedes studio. Together with her partner, she travels around Europe trying to collect impressions and inspiration from many different cultures. And her Instagram is T_Jurisic. And I still don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, what do we got in this week's box? First of all, the paper that I won't use as usual. It's a multimedia paper, 10 sheets of smooth cartridge paper to test these markers and your curiosity. The Frisk cartridge paper pad, 190 GSM, 10 sheets in A5. It's acid-free. It's smooth and made in Britain. It retails for £0.50 for those 10 sheets. This high quality graphite it retails for £2.99 and it's designed to empower and inspire all artists to create. This pad contains 10 sheets of A5 smooth and white 190 GSM acid-free cartridge paper. This paper is perfect for graphite and colored pencil, as well as markers and posters. The pads are glued on the short side and open up cleanly and effectively. And we also have, of course, a sticker. It's an extract from the print by the featured artist. The sweet treat, it's Rainbow Belt by Vidal, I don't know. The pencil, it's humble but mighty, perfect starting point for all your scrolls. It's a Lyra Robinson 3B graphite pencil, retails for £0.50. This high quality graphite pencil is from Lyra, one of the oldest pencil brands in the world. It has a hexagonal shape which makes it easy to hold, providing a comfortable grip for ease of use. It is ideal for professional technical drawings, artistic drawings, design and architectural drawings alike. The 3B lid provides dark marks and a smoothness that allows the pencil to glide across the page. We also have an eraser, a J1 Technique eraser, retails for £3.50. It's a soft eraser that removes graphite particles of the paper with ease. So, D1 Technique Eraser, part of the D1 Specialist Artist Collection. This Technique Eraser will fast become your go-to for erasing needs. This soft eraser lifts graphite particles off the paper with ease, also suitable for removing charcoal too. This is a high-performance, non-abrasive eraser made from non-toxic and latex-free ingredients. And last but not least, the most important part of this box, which retails for £25 per set, the Faber-Castell Pit Artist Pen Dual Marker. We have 5 of them. It's dark sepia, deep scarlet red, orange glaze, ultramarine and leaf green. The fine tip is for seamless outlines, mark making and final details. No need to activate these paints, just take off the lids and these juicy markers are ready to go. And switch up your line work in an instant. One end is a thick brush nib, the other a fine liner. These high quality Pit Artist dual markers come with a versatile broad brush nib to cover larger areas and a 0.8 metal encased fine liner nib for more detailed drawings and outlines, making this ideal for vast coverage and detailed illustrations. They feature pigmented water-based India ink that is acid-free and pH neutral, which become permanent once dry. They have a transparent finish, making them perfect for building and layering formal intensity. Pit Artist pens have unsurpassed light fastness, and the individual colors are marked with an asterisk-based code. I don't know any more about this. We have, as usual, an interview with the Scrawlrbox artist, the sit down as they call it. She has a particular style. Okay, we have some scroll tips about the Pit Artist pen. So. The ink is slightly transparent, much like watercolors. You can experiment with building up layers of ink for intensity, shading and tone variation created by repeated laydowns of the same color. Avoid ink pooling by waiting for each layer to dry before going back over it. You can mix the ink on the palette to create some brilliant color mixture and bright color shades. Grab a palette to scribble on and wet paint brush to mix your colors together. As I am mixing my words. Washes. While you've got your pen brush handy, you can add a little water to blend the ink out for some delicate washes, either on the page or on the palette. Just make sure you work quickly. Once these inks dry, they are permanent, and because they are permanent, once fully dry, you can draw paint over them with other wet mediums for mixed media work without interfering with the layer underneath. The ink can be smeared and smudged while wet to create texture to your drawings. Use your fingertips, a sponge or even a paintbrush, make some marks. Play around with a line weight, angle you hold the pen and the pressure to create some visual interest. Using a combination of smaller and larger line strokes adds a nice details when outlining your work. The dark sepia marker makes a lovely muted alternative to black for outlining your work. It's dark enough to emphasize features and layers over the lighter colors with ease. Those pens are best stored horizontally, as this keeps the pigment in the ink evenly distributed. Storing new pens vertically will cause the pigment to pool in the end of the pen that is facing down. This can cause problems with ink flow and can disrupt usage. So store them horizontally. The artist's advice. She always loved to use almost any supplies from Faber-Castell. She thinks it's a good quality brand with various pens she can choose from. She loved the dual marker because she's into watercolor painting, and you can successfully imitate it with these pens. The limit of watercolor is that you need the place and the space to make it, but with your marker you can do it literally everywhere. That is very important if you like to make a quick drawing no matter where you are. Well, first point I have to say about this, it's not really like watercolors, it's diluted ink, so it's a bit different in the functioning, and it's not as transparent as watercolors. But she says some more. She also loves to use Faber-Castell pit markers because of the possibility to create large color fields with thick parts of the pen and make the outlines and stroke lighter very easy and clean. It dries very fast, so you don't have to worry about the potential mess or the stains. Perfect for any sketchbook, but also for serious works on the large-scale papers. She loves to combine it with other techniques too, as ink on the paper or pencil drawing. Also, if you love lettering, you'll love the pit markers. They are perfect for relaxed brush strokes, but also for the very small, precise details you want to add. It's easy to experiment with them. She tried to add water and it worked perfectly fine, and also they go pretty well with mixed media. She loves to use them on a thick watercolor paper. They are soaked inside the paper too, but not going completely through it, so she has a clean white other side of it. She made herself a paper sheet with all shades and color together with numbers, so she can just check it before she starts to work and choose which color and shades would fit great together. It allows her to work fast and to be sure colors will go great with each other. We also have Scrawlrbox for the July 2022 box. It was with color acrylic inks. Okay, inspired by Christina Kwan. The Scholar Challenge for this July month was in bloom. Okay, nice. And we also have a bit of a story about Faber-Castell and a little paragraph about the artwork made by T. Yurisik. The illustration was created as a reaction to the events that occurred as a result of the global pandemic. Otherwise, I like to observe the situation from the funny and unusual side. In this case, celibacy in the home prison. It's a self-made. Tinder is a self-made phrase connected from the word quarantine and Tinder. And the artwork is a part of the series Quarantine Diaries, created in the first month of the pandemic. I got the idea while listening to my friends who talked about the lack of love life and how hard it is to meet somebody these days. Okay, more about the artist. So she began her journey as a little kid, using the living room walls and furniture as a canvas. Her first commercial project started in elementary school when she did some large-scale handmade posters for the local church. She first earned something when she was 13 and won a brand new mobile phone in a drawing competition from a magazine. She says that imagination is a tool, a very important tool that every artist should have. Without it, there is no successful creation, no matter how much equipment and supplies you have. As an illustrator, the biggest part of her work is happening in her brain, visualizing the idea, transforming it into something meaningful, and creating an invisible sketch in her mind. After that, the only thing she has to do is to transfer it on the paper. If you had to choose pen or pencil, pencil is always the beginning of creating. All my sketches and first drafts are made with pencil. I like to erase it because I like my sketches clean and clear. After the pencil comes the pen, so I can see pen and pencil are in good relationship on my paper. There is a part of the interview that is a bit of an advertisement for the markers. And we end with, do you have any tips on how to stay motivated? She knows it works for her, getting out of her comfort zone. Her motivation was always to push hard and trust to herself. Almost everybody around her always told her she should study something different because art will always stay just a hobby. She thinks many artists hear that, and it's very depressing to hear. She had this feedback even from my closest family, so she decided again to show my latest about character and made it happen. For her, the best motivation is when she finds herself in a difficult financial situation. Then you have to make something, you have to move and react, just push forward to make yourself better. Okay, that's a point of view about life. Anyway, it's alright says it's simple but effective. But Faber-Castell are really good markers. It's nice to have those inks. I like to use them in a sketchbook. I don't think they will mix simply when you just use them like that. It's a way to use it. It's particular. I like to use water-based markers in a sketchbook because alcohol-based markers are nice, but in sketchbook they always push through the paper. And with these markers, you don't have any problem through your paper. As in my sketchbook, it's 140 GSM, I think, something like that. And it resisted without any problem, so I don't have to worry about this. It's a simple Moleskine sketchbook in A5 format. Yeah, not much to say. There were just the 3B pencil, nice and effective. Maybe for sketching 3B is a bit too much, too dark. But anyway, it's a choice. I'm more used of 2B or just a simple B or HB. HB is, I think, a good middle ground. Not much to say about the paper. As usual, I didn't use it, so I won't talk about it. It doesn't seem so smooth as they pretend, but anyway. Yeah, maybe black would have been a good idea, but as they say, there was a brown one, but if you use the brown as a way to make your line art, you have one color missing, let's say. So maybe a black liner would have been a good idea, but if you're already subscribing, you have a lot of liners, of black liners. But anyway, yeah, it was a nice box. Maybe use it with another box who had colored pencils. It would be a good combination for me. Yeah, so anyway, as usual, I wish you a good day, a good morning, a good evening, a good afternoon, a good night, whenever and wherever you're watching this video. Bye!